OK, the transfer window slams shuts on Monday. And as transfer windows go, mate,
Blockbuster.
it's pretty epic, isn't it?
Blockbuster.
Absolutely buzzing with it. Some huge moves that have happened. So we thought now would be the perfect time to get Nieve, who's in the hot seat today, to rank every Premier League club's summer transfer window so far on the iconic Saturday social whiteboard. Joseph.
Just an easy task.
Tough to do this, by the way.
Every club.
This is tough to do because also things can change over the next couple of days. I think could have big swings on teams, right? But obviously, A is the best, E is the worst. You've got to have a team in each one. The boys will chip in throughout as well. Should we start with Arsenal? Alphabetical order.
Yes.
Yeah, alphabetical A for Arsenal.
Well, how are you feeling?
I'm happy.
Be honest, this has got to be an A.
Yeah, I'm very. Well, I don't know if that's for you putting pressure. I thought, but
It has to.
yeah, I mean,
Favourites for the title, though, so...
that's what sat. I never said that. He said that, your guy. But yeah, I'd say I'm happy. I'm very happy. I'm surprised that, you know, when we signed Nottingham Forest, there's quite a lot of meltdown actually amongst Arsenal fans. But I remember Arsenal, or something came out in the press that they said that it has no effect on the Eze deal. And in the end, we ended up getting Eze, which I thought most fans, including myself, didn't think we was going to get, especially with Noni coming in. But we got him as well. We got a striker that is supposed to be the missing puzzle. Yeah. And that's what we've all been waiting for. We got Jokerezi started as well, 2 goals in 2 games.
Highest.
Mendy as well.
Yeah.
I feel like you've made all the components, the signings that what we expected you to make based on last season.
Yeah.
So it's just whether
Where would you put them then?
it can be enough. I think A. Yeah, they've done what they need.
They are highest in terms of net spend of any team in the Premier League.
Yeah.
Pressure, innit?
Better win it now, then.
Brings pressure, but we're making sales. Listen, I always question Arsenal when it comes to sales. I think Chelsea do really good at selling their players. Arsenal need a bit more work on it. But currently, we're now seeing Jakub Kiwior's been linked. He's on his way out to Porto as well. I think now the club are going to make a real strong push to make sales at the club. And
Okay, let's move on to the next
thank
club.
you, A.
Aston Villa. So Arsenal take it in A, and we've got to have one. The only rule is one club in each category at least.
Yeah.
So we move on to Aston Villa. Not a lot of business.
No,
for
Yeremy
Villa.
Pino they've brought in.
They have?
But I think...
Palace have brought in Yeremy Pino.
Oh, sorry,
Palace,
yeah.
Evan Gasson.
Evan Gasson, sorry. But I think I'm a little bit concerned by the amount of attacking players they've brought in, just him. He looked good.
He does look
but
good, yeah.
If you just think of the build-up of losing Duran, losing Asensio, losing Rashford, losing Jacob Ramsey.
Jacob Ramsey was linked
Leon
to
Bailey.
They just feel a bit light going forward. And also, if you watched in that Aston Villa game with the 2 centre-backs, obviously they looked a little bit uncomfortable together, both the same feet. And I just think that with Villa, a problem for a couple of years now I've noticed is maybe when they've had a couple of injuries, they've not really looked like they're comfortable playing in the usual style. And I think that's an issue that will persist, but if they don't do more in the window.
Where are you going to put them then?
I'd probably say that they've kept a few good players though. Morgan Rogers they've kept.
They're looking to get Asensio back.
Yeah, they're in talks funny enough to bring Marcus
okay.
Asensio back to the club, but PSG want a permanent, so it's interesting to see whether a loan or a permanent
Make a
might
decision.
manifest.
See,
See then.
Okay.
Next up, Bournemouth.
Bournemouth. Yes.
Oh,
Lost a lot of players.
Bendo.
They have.
it's your boy, innit?
It's my boy.
Yeah.
A lot of defensive players.
Diakite
leaving the club.
looked good though. Looked like he could settle in nicely at centre back with Senesi. There is big change. They've kept Areola, which I think is the key thing though. And yeah, Bendo. It'll be interesting to see if I wanted them to make a signing that could help them play against teams that actually are a bit more defensive against Bournemouth, because I think they're really good against the top teams that come at them, and I'm not sure if I've seen that. So
Yes, it feels like C or D.
Where are you going to put him?
yeah,
it feels like middle ground.
I think with what they've lost, I think maybe D.
Okay.
The defence has been totally stripped. Obviously, we've got
Yeah.
Kerkez, Hoyson's gone, even
It's a weaker
Kepa, who was
team
good
though.
last
Barney's
year.
gone.
Yeah. Received 201 million in terms of money
Brilliant.
received, though, for all those players. So, I
Big
mean,
fee
it's
for
worth
Ouattara.
Zabani, Quattara, yeah, exactly. Dean Howson as well. So.
Talking of Ouattara, the team he joined, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
Brentford, another
Good
team
player,
with
by the way.
quite an overwhelming amount of change as well, and I don't necessarily think that's ever a good thing. But some of their signings, Ouattara's been Kelleher. I think that's a
Kelleher's
great
a good signing for Brentford,
yeah,
right?
Absolutely.
They've lost a lot though, haven't they? They've
But
lost obviously the man.
They kept
backroom
Damsgaard,
staff,
though.
They lost Bromo. Norgard's obviously gone as well. That was their captain. So
Thomas Frank and Cochrane as well, the coaching staff.
there you go. So,
Where would you
I'd
put him
mention
then?
that
Yeah,
as well.
Flecken as well.
They've lost a lot. C?
I think C's fair.
I think low,
Ben
because
Dokes.
I actually think we're in a
Sorry.
situation now where we're wondering will Brentford be in a relegation fight
Yeah.
as a
Could potentially
consequence
still
of the
lose
window.
Wissa.
Yeah, Hendo came through the door as well.
Yeah.
Bit of experience,
What are your
leadership
thoughts on
there.
Kelleher as a Liverpool fan?
Oh, he's unbelievable. When he was at Liverpool, I think he was, in my opinion, the best number 2. If you want to even call him that, it could be seen as disrespectful, but the stats, the data, that's why Brentford brought him in terms of XG, So yeah, Kelleher is rightfully a number one in the Premier League now. So I think that could be a massive signing.
The big news about Brentford as well, interestingly, Max Bayer, £45 million bid rejected to Dortmund. So that it does suggest they're still actively in the market. And obviously you've got the Vista deal, which is, we don't know what's going to happen with that as well.
Yeah.
So.
Make a call then.
Personally, I think D.
Okay.
Next
That's
up,
Brentford.
Next up, we've got Brighton, I think.
Brighton. Yes, Brighton. Do you know, do you know what it is about Brighton? Because they've actually spent quite a lot of money. I know because they've sold a lot of players, so they've had that money to spend. But what shocks me, watching Brighton in the last game, Danny Welbeck starting up top, it's like, for all what Minter and Mitoma can do and how exciting they are, there couldn't have been a lot of games if they don't sign someone in the middle where they are really good for large periods, but they just lose the game anyway.
Do you think this is where they've obviously brought in the two Greek youngsters, Simas, and they've brought in Babis, but neither of them have quite made an impact yet, have they? Do you think the long-term plan is for like Kostoulas to play as the number 9, but now he feels like they're still too young to have a major impact immediately?
Yeah, I think finding that balance between thinking of the future and thinking of the current season, it's so important. And even because Brighton, we rightly so praise them for a lot of their recruitment, it doesn't mean that they always get it spot on. And I do think they've left themselves light in a big position there.
Okay, where would
Do
you
you think Belieber stays?
I think for another season, yeah. I think it's too late in the window now for United to throw 100 million down.
Where's that coming from? Where are you lot getting that money from for when it comes to United?
I think he's going to stay now, isn't he?
I think he'll stay.
Yeah,
I believe
looks
he's
like
a
it,
quality player, and I think Brighton are going to need him. I think what
Where are you
Okay.
going to put him?
I think De Cowper coming in for a Stupinan was really good, going quick.
I agree.
I think C.
Okay, put in C, and we move on to another B. Burnley spent 97.7 million, received 31 million. Yeah, interesting, Burnley. What are your thoughts?
What are you thinking?
What they've done?
I like some of their signings, but I think they might have spent quite a bit on them. Like I think Brozier and Ukwachukwu, they feel like quite.
Brozier was 20 mil. Yeah.
I
Jane
don't-
Anthony 8, Fleming 7, Humphreys 10 million, Carl Walker 5 million. So they have spent.
Where would you put
Yeah,
him?
and they needed to. I would perhaps go with C because I
Okay.
think they've done enough where you think, oh, they could potentially stand a chance.
The
but
sale
maybe
of
there
James
could be
Trafford
more.
to City, was that a good?
They lost CJ Egan Riley as well, didn't they?
did, yeah.
On
Yeah,
a free.
so-
Yeah.
Next up.
Right, might need a bit of time on this one. Chelsea. What?
Good luck, mate.
Where do you want to even start with talking about
Do you
Chelsea?
know what we'll
There's
start
so
with
much
them?
to talk
We'll
about.
start with the fact that they've actually managed to make about 250 million in sales, and I do think that they deserve a lot of credit for that. It's even the money that they've got for players like Renato Vega and the Brozier for Burnley deal as well. João Felix, they got a decent fee for him. So I think they've done a really good job of allowing themselves to carry on doing this sort of model of getting these exciting new players in.
It's a great point, that, actually, because they've actually spent 256.5 million. Currently, as things stand, they've received 277 million. Obviously, they're still linked with this before the Garnacho deal, which we believe might happen. Buonanotte, so they are still looking like they're going to strengthen. But it's a very valid point that they have had a lot of outgoings.
They're
as
so
well.
good. They're so good at sales. Honestly, they got the formula to making sales for their players. But also their thing of having an A and B team. I now see, Arsenal. I'm not saying they're following that model, but it seems like they're trying to get many players in to have two good players in each position. Chelsea were like kind of the first team to do that. Even though they got ridiculed for it, but
Where does that put them though on this list?
I think B.
I'd say B.
but
I'd say B because I think they've got lots of Esteval exciting, João Pedro exciting, Liam Delap exciting. But do I think that across the whole team there's enough where I'm thinking, oh, they're in a title race now? I'm not sure, but it's very close to that. And you can feel it coming. You can
How
feel
much
it
more do they have
building.
to spend, though, before we say they are in a
It's
title
about
race?
the positions, I think, as much as anything. So I feel like, all this money they're spending in the attacking positions is great.
Yeah.
But I still think there's a little bit of work to be done defensively for Chelsea. Perhaps look at the goalkeeper, I'm not sure. But I just think that just the balance across the team is the next step to take it right to the next
The interesting one is Nicholas Jackson, as we're speaking now, looks like linked with a loan move, potentially with an obligation to Bayern Munich.
Didn't see that one coming.
yeah, that one.
Didn't see that one coming.
Interesting one.
Next up.
Crystal Palace.
Jeremy Pino.
Yep, here is Jeremy Pino. We'll get to him eventually.
Yeah, but not much else really for Palace. And do you know what? It frustrates me a bit because you've got Oliver Glasner here, who I just think he's absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, good manager.
Get behind him.
I think he's frustrated as well, judging by a few of his comments recently.
Yeah, and we might be
What are your
be
thoughts on
after their
Gahey?
captain.
Strongly
yeah.
linked with Liverpool as a Liverpool fan. Thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think time's ticking. Obviously, we've only got till 7 o'clock on Monday now. I think if the fee's right they should accept it. But we did hear Glasner yesterday say, didn't we, that there's no way we can allow this.
Strong, wasn't he? And
so, which is probably him sending a message to Steve Parish, isn't it, to say, look, you can't let him go at this stage.
That would be so bad.
If they are bringing in a centre-back.
To refuse in January and then to not sell throughout the window, if they were to sell him this late in the window with no replacement, that would be really good.
Liverpool need him.
You're right to say about Glasner. They should get behind him and back him. They've got them, now Palace have made the sell, obviously, they've got money to reinvest. But
you look at that Palace team as well. Like, there's the foundations of a really good team.
Yeah.
I agree, it frustrates me. So I actually think that it's got to be one of these two because look at the opportunity you've got. This is probably one of the best Crystal Palace eras of all time.
Yeah.
And you're not doing anything.
Well, first time they've ever won a major trophy.
It will hurt me to see.
Let's make a decision then. Where are we going?
Hey.
Okay. Wow. It's harsh.
No.
And Cecil's rubbing it in, by the way, by wearing an Eze top just to rub it in with the Palace fans.
Next up.
Sorry.
Well, this is the opposite. They've had a brilliant window, haven't they?
They have.
Yeah, they have.
Yeah.
That you only had to watch that
Sorry,
Everton
and
game
Grealish
as
and
well,
Grealish.
and they were just so good. And I think already you're seeing, because it takes time for players to gel.
Yeah.
But they were just playing together so brilliantly. Grealish and Njai coming in from the right, but sort of
Quality
taking a more central role as he took position in the attacking position. Then also, even like Dewsbury Hall, the two defensive midfielders could focus on what they were doing, because when it came to moving out and transitioning, just get it to Dewsbury Hall and he'll get it to Grealish, and just the speed and the chemistry. And they're all grafters as well, so when the football's not perfect, you know that they're going to get stuck in. So
A lot of low socks going on there as well. Dibbling.
Yeah, Jack Grealish. I was surprised by Grealish,
like
though,
it.
you know. And, like, obviously, off the back of, his time at City, going back out on the left and whatnot, and obviously, I wanted to see an Aston Villa Grealish. I just didn't think it would have came, but the first games that he's played, he's been so.
Grealish just needs love.
Yeah, I
And
think
the
that's
Everton
it.
fans will give him that in bucket loads. 2 assists in his last 2 seasons combined for City. Gets 2 in a game.
Could this be an A then?
I think so, because there
Well,
was
then,
so
let's
much
get it up.
dejection last season.
Look at that.
I mean, it's quite rare to see Everton at the top of a
I think
table.
our next
isn't it?
one-
But-
Next up, Fulham.
Potentially doing about 10 seconds because they haven't signed a player.
Spent nothing, received nothing. And so there's a few players that have come and gone, but in terms of spend, 0, received 0 as things stand.
Yeah.
Easy.
Is that
Let's
E?
just get them up then.
Yeah. If there was an
Okay.
F, I think they would have got in there.
Fulham, yeah.
Yeah, good. Next up, Leeds.
As the window's gone on, I've been more and more disappointed by it, I'd say. And also, I could be completely off the mark here, but I get this feeling that when you compare them to Sunderland and Burnley, whether you agree with Sunderland and Burnley's business or not, it looks like they're getting the players that they want. Whereas I feel like Leeds just seem to have all these ideas of what they want. They were looking at Rodrigo Muniz, Buonanotte, and they don't seem to be getting anybody. And I just think they look so light going forward.
Okay, let's put them up. Where do you think?
Honestly, I think there's more business to be done for these guys, so it could move into here. But right now, I'm going to.
Okay. Spend a bit of time on the next one because it is Liverpool. Obviously, done a lot of business, spent 321 million. But worth pointing out, they have received 228 million. I think a lot of people are talking about Liverpool's spend, which is huge, as we know. But they've got money for Trent, for Kelleher, for Kwanzaa, for Diaz, for Nunes. They have got money in as well. It's worth pointing out.
Yeah, but could they, if they don't secure Isak, could they regret selling Luis Diaz?
What do you think, Alex?
I mean, I didn't want Luis Diaz to go in the first place. I think with the emergence of the boy Rio, maybe there's an argument to say that he gets more minutes this season. But I agree. I think the Diaz one, a little bit premature, but the money was good. I think if you're Richard Hughes looking at that, you think good deal for all parties. But I agree. I think we stormed off in such an electric way at the start of the window. And we were thinking all of these kind of dominoes would just fall into place quite naturally. Isak would come, Gahey would come. I was in Hong Kong for pre-season. I saw how versatile Frimpong can be, especially when Salah goes to AFCON. He could be in that right wing position. Ekitike is electric, 3-3 straight away.
Start.
Unbelievable start. The midfield was already settled, but Kirkez has come in, needs a bit more time to bed, and obviously Florian Wirtz is the record. But there's still work to be done.
Let's talk about Isak quickly. Do you think Isak will be a Liverpool player before the end of the window?
Yes, yeah. I think it happens. Walt Marder's come in. I think that opens the door. If Wissa goes, even better.
Yeah.
I don't know what the stall is at the minute. I mean, if we don't, there is going to be serious egg on my face.
I think
it's probably from this fella, to be fair.
Yeah, it will be. Would you prefer Mark Gay over Isak? Just quickly, that defence.
Both.
No.
No, it has to be both. It has to be both.
pick
Pick one. Thank you.
Yeah.
Isak. Still Isak.
Really?
But I think we're a
would you
B,
put him, Nieve?
but it could go to A.
Well, it's like almost like long-term versus this season kind of thing. I'm Gahey for this season, but you're sorted for the next.
But he would get
20
minutes.
years.
There's this notion of thought that he won't play. Like, he will play. World Cup year coming up. Like, he'll get a lot of games. Liverpool will probably play 60 games.
lock in a
There's
case.
Your
some,
list,
some very exciting signings there, but there's still maybe a little bit that could be done. So I think B.
Okay.
It's got to be B.
Next up, we got Man City.
Yes.
Thoughts?
Yes, so some great signings. Cherki and Reinders, brilliant signings. However, I just think I think a part of City's dominance in England over the last however many years has been how people are a bit scared to play them. Whereas I think because there's little weaknesses there, and people aren't really scared to play City, so they've lost themselves as that force. And I think, like, for example, Rico Lewis and Nunes being the right-back options, that to me is a slight weakness, and it just adds a bit of vulnerability to City that I think they don't want. That's a big part of how they are and how they're so successful.
Where would you put them? What category?
And they've made some great signings.
In terms of the value as well, they've got 46 mil for Reinders, 34 for Cherki. In terms of value for money, what they're getting, where do you put them, Nieve?
I think possibly B.
Okay.
Yeah, I can agree.
That's fair. From one Manchester club to the next, Joe's beloved Manchester United, £214.2 million spent. The likes of Cunha, Šeško and Buemo. What are your thoughts on United?
I don't even want to have thoughts on it.
Thank you. Yeah, I agree. Let's put them up, man. I don't even want to hear it.
No, do you know what it is?
That's what a response.
Cecil's face there. Cecil.
They
Don't even have a response.
They just confuse me because I actually thought I'm always tricked by the window. I think a lot of us are, and because they make good signings.
I know what you
They
mean by
needed
that.
goals, so they've made signings that are Premier League proven, people that will get you goals. But I don't know. I think it's just you have to figure out who you want your manager to be, what you want your team to be like, what you want your club to be like. I don't know what's going on.
Where would you put them then?
No sales yet either, Joe, right? They haven't sold.
I think they're about to all go.
Garnacho.
through.
Well,
Going through.
Garnacho's heavily linked,
Hoyland's
Hoyland's heavily
about to
linked,
go through.
Anthony's linked as well.
Oh, yeah, of
What
course.
would you guys?
I would say, I mean, look, household names, yes, they have brought them in. I mean, you'll be hoping that they click a little bit quicker than this, but I think somewhere between C and D.
Okay.
Okay.
Before a ball was kicked, we would have said higher than that.
Yeah. But the eye test does not lie, unfortunately. So.
Okay. Next up, right, Newcastle. I think Newcastle's an interesting one to discuss because obviously a lot of people point out the players they were linked with that they haven't got over the line, but they have got in. They've got the likes of Alanga, Ramsdale.
Some great players in. They've got some really good players
in as well.
really good
Still
player.
linked with Visser.
They've got Voltamada
as well.
Yeah, Malik Chow as well.
But I feel
Although,
like,
to be fair, I think they may have overpaid a little bit on him.
but I think a lot of the narrative before that was on the players they tried to get but haven't got. Do you think that's fair or unfair?
Yeah, there's definitely a big cloud over them. And I think, to be honest with you, I don't think it's always been a good reflection on them, I will say. But they have made signings, which they needed to make. I also think the players that they have kept as well. You know, there's a nice... I know that with the Isak saga, if you sort of take that away, everybody else, there seems to be a lot of positivity and sort of coming together as well. Like that midfield three was essential to keep those guys together, and they did. They've got like the foundations of like a really good balanced team, and they've just added bits to that. So I actually don't think it's been a...
Okay.
Where do you put them then?
I agree. You could go
B?
Could
No,
go-
I think
No,
C.
I think C because
Okay, let's go middle of the park and move
All right.
on.
keep hold of this.
Nottingham Forest. Nieve.
Yes, Nottingham Forest. Do you know, I think they've had a brilliant window. I do, and there's been a lot of talk about whether or not, I think we've got this in our head that if a team does well one season that usually aren't up there, then the next season they're not going to do as well. But I think they've had a bit of a statement window which suggests that they want to stay and be consistently up there in sort of like a Villa ilk. And I think that the fact that there's been a bit of like chaos at the club has clouded the fact that they've actually made some really good signings. Look at McAtee in midfield. Dan Ndoye's been one of my favourite signings. I think he really suits that system as well. He'll go and do a great job. Douglas Luiz, they've just signed.
Yeah,
today.
great
They've
signing.
made some great
So are
signings.
you going as high as like a B maybe?
I think B.
Yeah.
They kept their foundation
Possibly
as well. Like you
for
mentioned.
them as well.
Yeah, not
You
many,
could
not
even
many
argue that.
sales, not many
Yeah, it's like
players
you-
sold other
yeah.
than.
I think
Next up, we go Sunderland, who are interestingly, Sunderland are the fourth highest net spenders in the league. They've had a higher net spend currently than Liverpool.
Wow.
Which is, I mean, obviously we know Liverpool
Sold a
with
lot of
Isak
players,
and stuff,
yeah.
and they have sold.
Still
but,
to come.
They've
Had
spent.
to, though, didn't they?
They did, yeah.
You know, last season. And they've made some really good signings as well. I think I especially like Xhaka and Diarra, the two midfield signings, because you've got a blend of experience and then you've got someone who's direct, strong, fast. I think most clubs need to sign players like that. We've seen a real influx in tall, athletic players, and he's a good example of that at Sunderland. Adingra, I think that's really he looks like a real talent. And you're in a situation now where you think Sunderland could potentially say up. There's positivity there, so I don't really think they could do much more. So I would,
Okay.
Your beloved Spurs, Smith?
Tottenham Hotspur. Xavi Simons through the door. Massive signing for Spurs, I feel that is.
Him and Kudus, fantastic.
Yeah. Paulinho, Kudus.
Missed out on a lot of your #1 targets, though.
Do you know?
Who are you talking about?
You missed out on
Oasis say
mate.
she's electric, but I think that Tottenham are the electric ones.
Oh.
This one, no.
Nice.
You didn't like that, Joe? Didn't like that?
I tried, but it didn't work.
It nearly landed.
Oh, whatever.
What are you saying then? You really like the window?
Paulinho, I think, is one of the signings of the
I totally
Premier
agree.
League this season because he's going to facilitate those around him. Look at Sarr already.
Been unbelievable.
Straight away. So, I think that, and that's what I wanted them to make last season, that signing, Paulinho.
I totally agree with Paulinho, just as a Spurs fan. I think that's gone under the radar because Spurs have got so many technically gifted, nice players in the middle of the park. But what we needed is someone that just sits and that tackles and that progresses and that does all that and gets stuck in. And we haven't had that for a while.
And has defensive instinct.
Exactly. And what Paulinho does is he frees up. Look how well Sarr's playing. So I think he's been great.
Are you going as high as an A then?
And I do think Tottenham are still looking to make more signings. It's worth pointing out. They're looking at a winger and potentially a defender.
Think about how dejected and low in the Premier League last season and the positivity now. Yeah, the creativity. Obviously, James Maddison, the injury, not to worry. You've brought Simmons in. Kudus looks great.
The
it's
best signing from
exciting.
Tottenham.
We're going to have to make a decision here then. Where are we going?
Manager, manager.
Thomas
That's
Frank. And
the manager alone for you.
I still think B, though.
Honestly, Thomas Frank is.
What could they do to take that to an A, though?
Nieve, it's your decision. You decide.
I just think we could see real elevation in Tottenham.
Okay.
And it was so, it got so bad last season, but I think it looks good.
We've got about a minute to do the final two teams, so let's...
Yeah, West
West Ham.
I think Hermansen, the goalkeeper, that's a good signing. Aside from that, I'm just really confused by them and sort of the
Left back looks
direction
good.
that they want.
Juve.
Yeah,
Juve looks good.
but they do seem a little bit all over the place of what they're doing. Do you know what I mean?
I'd say E personally. That sounds
The fans aren't happy at West Ham, are they?
No, they're not, and I think that's
Definitely
really important.
Finally, we go to Wolves. My dad's team, Wolves, always tells me they obviously regularly lose a lot of players.
They do.
Again, they've had players out the door.
Asset stripped.
Yeah.
Nori. Strand Larsen looks like he's...
Strand Larsen might be
If they
saying...
lose him, that will be that's them.
It's got to be D or E, surely.
I think so, because they
Might
look
still make
weaker
signings,
this
though.
season. Yeah, they might still.
Might still
but
make signings.
As it stands, they're weaker this season than last season, and they struggled for a lot of last season. So I think, personally, E.
Okay, there we have it. Enjoyed that.
Eventually.
There is confirmation of Nieve ranking every Premier League club's summer transfer window. Let us know what you think of that at home.